You're unmuted.
All right, thank you. Okay, that's Robert. Could you ask Robert to mute himself?
It's Marie.
Oh, it's, I don't.
I just turned my volume on.
There you go.
My speaker isn't on.
Yes. Yep.
All right,
It'd be good.
are we good?
Thanks. So.
All right, we are going to call this meeting to order. Everyone is present except for Dana this evening, she was excused. Pledge of allegiance, the flag is right behind you. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for attending this evening. The mission statement is the Viroqua area schools will nurture excellence, unlock potential, and ignite passion. We have some great presentations tonight. We have spotlight on education, fourth grade heritage projects, and the state capitol field trip. I'm not exactly certain how you all want to do this, but we have teachers are Susan, Kim, and Marie. And then we have the Heritage Fair reports, and that's going to be Liam, Will, and Sophia. And then we have the Madison trip, which will be Austin. And I'm kind of assuming you're going to all come up together, but maybe Madison comes up afterwards. However you want to do it is fabulous. And if the teachers could come up and introduce the students, that would even be better.
Okay, I have the floor. If you come up, please.
Thank you all for coming out tonight.
We're going to start with our first Heritage Fair project. We had the students choose a state park to research and report on. So we're going to start with Liam Schwartz. Let's wait. Share, but it's not sharing it. Here it is. I'm here.
No.
As you heard things.
And before you begin, we also want to thank all the parents for working with their students on this project too, I'm sure a little bit, and bringing their students here this evening. So thank you for coming. Go ahead.
My name is Liam Schwartz. I'm a fourth grader at Viroqua Elementary School. My Heritage Fair project, I chose Bigfoot Beach State Park. You may think that Bigfoot Beach State Park is filled with Sasquatches, but I am here today to tell you what you might actually find at Bigfoot Beach State Park. Where is Bigfoot Beach State Park located? Bigfoot Beach State Park is located at approximately 170 miles southeast of Viroqua in Walworth County on the eastern shore of Geneva Lake. There's a picture of Geneva Lake. When was Bigfoot Beach State Park established? Bigfoot Beach State Park was established in 1949. Most of the land for the park was bought in 1949 and 1953. It was farmland at the time. It was owned by a famous banker and a businessman whose son built it and still remains today. It is a replica of the lake. That means that it is the same shape as the lake. There's a picture of the lagoon, and that is the shape that they are both. How did Bigfoot Beach State Park get its name? You might think the park was named after the mythic creature Bigfoot. The park was actually named after Chief Bigfoot, an early Potawatomi leader that once ruled a village in the area. Here's a picture, a statue of Chief Bigfoot, and that is also where my mom graduated. What can you do for recreation? Bigfoot Beach State Park is a park for all seasons. There's activities for everyone. To name a few, you can boat, canoe, kayak, camp, fish, hike, hunt, swim, ski, and snowshoe, and view wildlife. Wildlife at Bigfoot Beach State Park. Here are some actual pictures of wildlife at Bigfoot Beach State Park. My favorite is the baby snapping turtle. What is the history of Bigfoot Beach State Park? As mentioned before, the park is named after the Potawatomi leader Chief Bigfoot. It is located on land near an old Potawatomi village. The park is unique because it is one of the only state parks to be located entirely inside city limits. Geneva Lake was originally called Bigfoot Lake. It was formed during the Ice Age, where glaciers carved out the basin that now holds the lake. What are the hours and fees? Bigfoot Beach State Park is open daily from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. If you plan to fish, you will need a license if you are over the age of 16. If you plan to hunt, only archery and trapping is allowed during designated times. To get in, it will cost $8 for a day pass or $28 for an annual pass for Wisconsin's license plate. Here's an old picture of Bigfoot Beach State Park entrance when it only cost $1.50 a day. Why is Bigfoot Beach State Park important to Wisconsin? I think Bigfoot Beach State Park is important to Wisconsin because it is located in the area that is rich in century-old Native American roots and heritage. It honors Chief Bigfoot, who loved Lake Geneva area. Bigfoot Beach State Park is important to me because it is located on Geneva Lake, where I have been attending summer camp since I was 5. I have many fun memories with my siblings and cousins. There's a picture of me on the far right and my brother, sister, and cousin are in the back. Why would you want to visit Bigfoot Beach State Park? I think the real question is, why wouldn't you want to? 5 miles of hiking trails, and endless activities for every season. When I visit, I want to wake up early and go fishing in the lagoon. I hope you enjoyed my presentation on Bigfoot Beach State Park. Does anyone have any questions?
How long is your camp?
It's like, it usually is like, I don't know how much exactly, but like a couple hours, I think. Like a day camp for like a week, I think.
What's your favorite activity at the camp?
We do different activities every year, but we usually do like you wear a white t-shirt and then there's like you get to throw paint, like it's like dry paint, but they're like in like a cloth.
Are there any overnight camps?
Perfect.
It's a great question. Are there any overnight camps?
I think there is, but we don't go to the overnight ones.
Okay. You have to be a certain age,
Um,
like go to your camp?
so there's like different ages. I think the youngest is like 5 or 4. So it's pretty young to go.
Any other questions? Are they have showers and all those kinds of facilities there?
I think the place that we go to, it's not meant for overnight, so I don't think they have like showers and stuff. But you go swimming at the lake, so You can, it's not really a shower, but.
It's close enough.
Clean it. It's all good.
Close enough.
Clean lake.
Do they have things that you can jump on in the lake and things like
Yeah,
that?
there's a pier or like a thing, yeah.
Mhm.
It's not a diving board, but it's, you can jump off.
What's the biggest fish you've caught?
There's not really fish in there and we don't really go fishing there.
Oh,
So, but there has been a few fish that people have seen.
yeah. Any other questions?
Shh.
He's like into it. In the summer camp.
It's a good question. How many years have you been going there?
Those five, so like 5 years.
Oh, well, you started at 4? You were
Or
four?
like 5, I think.
Okay,
Around 5 years.
sounds very fun. You did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, our next student up is Wilbur Crofty.
Gonna talk about Bigfoot too? Just wondering that was this.
This, here, okay.
Do you think your brother will have any questions for you?
Yeah.
Oh.
The towering 500-foot bluff surrounding Devil's Lake is estimated to be 3 billion years old. Here are some photos of Devil's Lake. The top left corner is Balanced Rock. The bottom right corner is Elephant Rock. The highest middle one is the lake. The low middle one is Devil's Doorway. The top right one is Fallen Rocks, and the top bottom one is Elephant Cave. Where is Devil's Lake? In Sauk County, Baraboo, Wisconsin, east from Viroqua, 1 hour and 24 minutes from Viroqua. And here are some maps of where Devil's Lake is located. When was Devil's Lake established? In 1911. How big is Devil's Lake? 9,217 acres. That's a map of the map of Devil's Lake. And there are lots of trails that have signs so you can get around. What are the hours and fees? Open 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Vehicles with Wisconsin license plates are $28 for the year. What can you do for recreation? You can swim, fish, hunt, rock climb, hike, canoe, picnic, and do winter activities. Here are only a few of the pictures that you can do. How deep is the lake? 47 feet. How wide is the lake? 1/2 mile. That is a picture of Devil's Lake, the diagram of how it precipitates. What animals live there? White-tailed deer, raccoon, red fox, coyote, American beaver, gray squirrel, black squirrel, and red squirrel. There are only a few of the animals that live there. Trails. There's Balanced Rock Trail, which is 0.4 miles, Devil's Doorway, 0.1 miles, East Bluff Trail, 1.7 miles, East Bluff Woods Trail, 1.3 miles, Rhodos Trail, 0.7 miles, Group Camp Trail, 0.5 miles, Ice Age National Scenic Trail, 13.7 miles. And all the hiking trails combined are 29 miles of trails. The history. The lake was made by glaciers. Hotel named Devil's Lake, they combined two words. First hotel was built in 1866. Hotels disappeared. 85-foot tower built. Elephants bathed in the lake. Civilization Conservation Corps arrived in 1935. From 1935 to 1941, 200 men worked on the park. Devil's Lake is one of the oldest parks. Why is the park important to Wisconsin? Elephants bathed in the lake from a circus to cool off, and it was home to the Ho-Chunk Indians. Why is the park important to me? It's close to me and I've been there. Why would we want to go to this park? To hike, swim, fish, and learn about its history. My adventure at Devil's Lake. We hiked on the Broadway Trail and went swimming on the lake. And these are some of the photos that what we did at Devil's Lake. Any questions?
Were you nervous to go up to Fallen Rock and sit up there? Were you afraid a rock was gonna fall?
Kind of.
Can you actually walk into those caves?
Yes.
You can.
Did you find anything in the caves?
We didn't go in the caves.
Oh, okay. How long was the trail that you hiked?
0.7 miles.
Do they have camping?
They used to, but I don't know if they still do. I think they do.
Oh, go ahead and ask the.
Look at like the fish and stuff. I don't really know about the fish. It really doesn't say. But you can fish there.
You haven't fished there though?
No.
No. Was the water pretty clear?
Yeah.
Thank you. You did a marvelous job.
Good job. All right, next up is. Oh, I think it's good name is what it's saying.
Sophia and I'm going to tell you about Buckhorn State Park. I chose this state park because my family enjoys camping at Castle Rock State Park, Castle Rock County Park, which is close to Buckhorn State Park. And we would like to visit this park also. Buckhorn State Park is located in Juneau County, which is in central Wisconsin. It is 75.5 miles away from Viroqua, Wisconsin, and you will be driving northeast to get there. Buckhorn State Park was established in 1971. It has 8,190 acres altogether. Buckhorn State Park got its name when someone found a buck's horn near a salt. The salt lick is a rock that animals like to lick for the taste of the salt and other minerals. Some of the things that you can do at Buckhorn State Park are boating, canoeing, fishing, hiking, hunting, and swimming. Before the 1830s, this area of Ho-Chunk Indian land was considered unbroken wilderness. In 1838, logging the tall pines became a way of life for the next 40 years.
In the 1940s, the Wisconsin Power Water Company funded the Castle Rock Dam to be built, which created the Castle Rock Lake and the landscape of Buckhorn State Park. Park is open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. all year round. A vehicle admission sticker is required for entering into Wisconsin's. It costs $8 per year or $8 per year. Purchase a pass at the park or online. Hunting and fishing license are required. Buckhorn State Park has Canadian geese, herons, and sandhill cranes, ducks, muskrats, beavers, otters, minks, and sloths can be found in the marshes. The park is also home to white-tailed deer, coyotes, wild turkeys, and even an occasional black bear. Hawks and owls hunt the prairies in mixed oak pine stands for snakes, insects, and other prey. Buckhorn State Park is enjoyed by water enthusiasts, hunters, hikers, campers, and nature lovers. This park is important to Wisconsin because the wildlife and plant life that is important to central Wisconsin is preserved and taken care of. Buckhorn State Park has many things to enjoy, including cabins, campsites, fishing, fires, picnic shelters near the beach, a boat launch with a boarding cabin, and a hunting blind. You would enjoy visiting Buckhorn State Park because there is something for everyone to enjoy. Buckhorn State Park is important to me because I think it would be a fun place to go camping, see the wildlife and nature, create new memories, and experience a new place in the state that I love, Wisconsin. What's the presentation today?
So you camp close by there, your family does, and that's how you found out about it? Looks beautiful.
Do you guys go fishing on Castle Rock then?
What's your favorite thing to do when you go camping?
Probably ride my bike.
There's a lot of places to ride where you are. Do you have family that and friends that go with you, or just your immediate family?
Sometimes my cousins.
Do you camp often?
Yeah.
Okay, you did a fabulous job. Thank you.
Okay, our final presenter will be Austin Burke, and he's going to speak to you about our trip to Madison.
April 25th, the fourth grade took an awesome field trip to Madison. On our field trip, we went to the UW Geology Museum, the History Maker Space, and even the Wisconsin Capitol. I really love the places we went on our Madison trip. Keep listening to find out. On our Madison trip, we went to the UW Geology Museum. It was super cool. I really like fossils because I like dinosaurs. My favorite fossil was the mastodon. I liked it because the tusks were really cool. Another thing I liked was all the rocks in the first room. I have a rock collection. That's why I love them. My favorite was the two meteors. I stuck my hand in them. That was really cool. Next, I really like the black lightning. I really like the black lightning because I like to collect rocks like that in Michigan. Those were my three favorite things from the museum. Now for the next place. After the museum, we went to the History Maker Space. My favorite artifact was the beaver coat because it was soft and fluffy.
Another thing I liked was the clay. They tried to make artifacts from it. I liked that because it felt good in my hands. We also got to see a circus dog. She was very cute. I love dogs because I grew up with them. The instructor also taught us some interesting things about circus dogs. Now, on to the most important place on our master trip. This is about our stop in Wisconsin Capitol. One of my favorite parts of the Capitol is the observation deck. The reason I liked the observation deck was I could see the whole city. Another place was the main area with a really tall ceiling and cool glass. The reason I liked it was the colors were awesome. I also like where they built on lots. I got to sit in the chairs. I felt important in the chairs, which makes me feel good. That's why I like that place. That was where we went on our master trip. Those are the places I really loved on our master trip. Thank you for providing the comfortable coach buses. They made the long ride much more enjoyable. I learned a lot about our state and appreciate the opportunity you gave us to visit Madison.
Get to meet anyone famous,
Met
politicians?
Mr. Olmer.
Oh, that's
Oh, did he come down and have a picture taken with your
Yes.
class? Okay.
Is it windy up on the observation deck?
Oh, it wasn't that nice.
Not so much.
Oh, we ate at outside the Theology Museum.
Did the school bring a lunch for everybody?
Some people brought their lunch, the school supplied others.
Was it a nice day?
It was.
Did you, when you sat in that chair, did you think to yourself that maybe you'd one day like to be a politician and sit in one of those chairs?
Maybe.
Maybe. It's great. It's a wonderful experience. I know, I vote for you. Anyone else? Well, thank you. You did a really. So before you all go, thank you. Thank you both for bringing these amazing students. And thank you all for speaking. One of the most difficult things to do is be in front of public.
Well, and I said a few teachers would be here.
That
That VAS was presenting multiple, and so Liam was like, that's way more than a few. I told him nobody would be here.
Oh, we're pretty much nobody, so we're really okay, but you did great, so thank you. You all did that. Fantastic. All right. Was the VAS Adolescent Theater, and we have Erica bringing her students. We have Hannah, Silas, Allison, and Elliot. And this is great, end of the year, having these presentations by our students. And you all don't have to leave if you don't want to.
You can, though.
You can, you start.
Hi, myself and my classmates here are here to talk to you tonight about our BAM 7th and 8th grade theater weeks. I'm Elliot Jensen. This is Allison Harper, Hannah Hammond, and our amazing teacher, Miss Erica Hill. Silas Clark was not able to join us tonight, so we're kind of doing this without him. Our theater week was guided by Mr. Mason Hill. He is a Midwest-based actor, producer, educator, and fight director. He was here the week of April 22nd for 4 days. He directed our performance, which we named Rush, 15 plays in 30 minutes. We created a variety of skits, gave them titles, and numbered them 1 through 15. The audience would shout out a number, and then we would do the skit that they were shouting. We invited VAMSI2, parents, and some staff members to be our audience. The performance went really well, and the actors, teachers, and students had a really fun time.
What skills or games we played. We learned some new skills during theater week. We learned how to fall safely and do stunts without hurting anyone or yourself. We learned how to cheat out, which means to turn your body toward the audience. We practiced speaking loudly and how to keep a straight face when acting. Some of the games we played were straight face games, which helped with learning to keep a straight face when things are funny. Another game was a fast-paced game where you have to make a noise and pass it to the next person. This helped us with getting excited in the morning and waking some of us up. We learned to dog pile, which is a funny part of one of our skits. Some of us even learned how to do sword fights and juggle. And then next is our schedule. So what we did in those 3.5 days that we had, well, 3. We only had Mr. Mason working with us for 4 school days. On Monday, we got together, met Mr. Mason, played some introduction to theater games, and started brainstorming. Mr. Mason wanted us to come up with things that were funny, absurd, weird, or even heartfelt. We came up with ideas that we thought would appeal to our audience and what we personally found funny. Then we decided what skits we would like to work on. By the end of day 1, we had our skit concepts completely worked out. On the second day, we started actually writing skits. Miss Erica and Mr. Mason helped us juggle writing, practicing, and learning choreography. By the end of the day 2, we had all our skits on their feet, as Mr. Mason said. Mr. Mason also worked some beginner theater lessons into our day. Day 3, we practiced and refined our skits, made props, and figured out where to block on stage. At the end of the 3rd day, we ran our entire show from start to finish.
On the third, our show had a wide variety of skits, ranging from comedies to parodies to choreographed dance moves to just playing tag. We could make our plays about anything, from around the curve in 80 days to how to be a perfect Wisconsin family, to acrobatics and dance. Our skits ranged from mere seconds to minutes. From what we heard, our skits were fun for the audience to watch. Theater Week was a very unique way to express our creativity and simply just be ourselves.
Now we would all like to share something that we took away from our theater week and that we really liked about it. Something that I really liked about the performance was a skit that we named Chicken Sandwich, which was we got a chicken sandwich from Quick Trip, and it was a funny battle over the chicken sandwich, and it ended in a big choreographed dog pile, which was actually really fun to practice.
If you know me, you know I have been in several productions far away from home. One in Minneapolis, and even this year I had the opportunity to go during the school year to Milwaukee. I liked getting to do something that I value so much, but usually pursue so far away from home, in my own hometown and in my own classroom.
My favorite part of Theater Week was choreographing our Barbie dance and memorizing it in under a day. It really made me concentrate on the dance moves and then monologue.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in. My reflection is how in awe I am of what the students accomplished, guided by Mr. Mason in such a short amount of time. I mean, it was incredible. They performed this highly entertaining, completely original, they wrote all of it, professional show with only 3.5 days of planning and practice. 24 of them we organized into doing this. We received some really positive feedback from our audience, including, I'm going to share a couple of quotes from audience members. The show was so funny and well done. It was a real crowd pleaser. I brought my mother and my kindergartner, and everyone thought it was great. That was an amazing performance. I loved it. I can't remember the last time I laughed until I cried. Big bravo to you all. Another parent said, I would have paid to see that show. The key principles of Montessori education for adolescents include opportunities for self-expression, working side by side with adult experts, doing meaningful work that results in producing something that has value to others, and big work that takes many adolescents together to accomplish. Theater Week hit all of those important parts of our Montessori philosophy for these 7th and 8th graders. Okay, I'm going to leave you with a few more reflections from students that weren't able to be here tonight to talk with you. It was so much fun. I loved it. I really liked the brainstorming part where we got to see all of our ideas come out into the light. Mr. Mason was a really good teacher. I'm so surprised and happy that we were able to pull it off. I really hope that we can do this again in the future. It was the most exciting thing we did all school year. I loved all the laughing. Learning how to juggle was hard and awesome. It was a good experience to step out of my comfort zone. I really enjoyed Theater Week because it allowed us to have a week to be who we wanted to be, and it let us be as creative as we wanted. And my final quote, and this is the quote that had Mr. Olbert ask us to talk tonight. today was the best day I've ever had at school. And Mr. Olbert overheard a student say that on the day of our performance. Okay. So I want to thank Mr. Olbert and the VAMS Governance Council, of course, for supporting this idea and approving funds to bring in Mr. Mason and the VAMS parent group, who also helps raise the funds for these enrichment activities. I also have to thank Cody and the facilities staff for setup. Even with all the construction business, Cody was over there in the theater in that little box high up, I don't know what it's called, figuring out how to turn on the stage lights for us at the very last minute. So thank you to everybody who helped make this happen. And my guess is that the board members probably have questions.
Anyone have a question?
I want to hear the perfect Wisconsin family.
That's
Oh, there's two of you here.
We could do a little accent.
Oh.
I was the mom and she was the daughter, so we've talked about casseroles and potlucks.
I mean, Tana, can you do yours? It was so funny. Can you do it?
Let's do the last line.
I'm not in character yet.
We'll come back to you.
It was about her taking her senior pictures on a tractor in a cornfield that she
That
didn't know how to drive.
I had the opportunity also this weekend to go to your sale. I don't know if any of you were there. And the plants and all the stuff you guys had done, that was really fabulous. To see all the little creative things you did, as well as all the plants you had for people to purchase and everything. So that was great.
Okay, so I have to figure this out. So when I moved here, we had some people over and I asked people to bring a salad. So is that part of your skit?
Yes.
Can you remember any of it?
Yeah, I said, we had our introductory and my little skit was, oh yeah, hey, how are ya? I'm just fine. I have to go make a casserole for the church potluck, but I might also make a frog eye salad, because don't you know, those church ladies just love their salad. And there's more, but I don't want to bore you.
That was good. That was good. So I thought a salad had lettuce in it until I invited a bunch of people from Wisconsin to bring a salad, and nothing ever had a piece of meat in it. Clothes, and it had Cool Whip, and I had never seen such a salad. It had Snickers bars on, you know.
Salad, that's my favorite.
That was just an educational. It was an educational.
Well, we have chickens and ducks at the farm we go to, and one of the chickens, we named them, and one of their names is like Snicker salad, I'm pretty sure, so.
So do you think you can get in character or no? You don't have to.
I don't remember what I said.
I mean, this was weeks ago.
That's what
Right.
Used to prep.
It just sounds very
Yeah,
interesting.
I had a pig named Petunia. And I had to go show her at the FFE for my teacher, because if I didn't, I was gonna fail the class.
Very good. Did you record it?
Oh, gosh, I was just telling, Allison's mom that there was just too many moving parts. We did this in 3.5 days, and I did not once stop and think that I should have maybe asked like a professional to come tape it for us. So I have some videos from parents, but I did not have my head in the game to like actually have it taped well.
I could see senior year bringing up some of these clips.
I wish I would have next time.
Very, very fun. Very fun. So highlight? Anybody?
My highlight was just being able to really like be in a different space with my classmates. Like I always see them in a academic field, like, oh, we're like bickering because we have to get this math problem done, and one person wants to do it one way. But with like actually getting to see everyone's creative side and getting to see everyone really doing something that I've never seen them do and seeing their eyes light up, just writing a sentence and being a part of something.
You know, that's academic.
It's
It's hidden academics. Anyway, well, thank you all.
I was just saying that one of my favorite parts was just like seeing how like some students in my class can actually act. See how like how they had some actually pretty good ideas.
I have to interject with one more thing. We had two students at the beginning that said they just wanted to be writers and they didn't want to act at all. And guess what? They both ended up being in like multiple skits. And they got kind of
In the spirit.
yeah, in the spirit. for sure.
Who was best juggler?
Silas was not here.
Yeah.
He practiced, he didn't know how to juggle at the beginning of the week and he practiced all week. Yep.
Be a master juggler.
He was walking and juggling by the end.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Your presentations were fantastic. All right.
Journal, right?
I know, that's the fun
Well,
stuff
I-
right there. That's why we're here. Committee reports. We have budget and finance, Matt, and compensation, Kim.
Yeah, we met tonight. Mike just presented us with a couple 23-24 updates. We had some IT budget adjustments with some of the referendum going on, and some of the switches that we had put in for IT and some additional wiring and taking advantage of the referendum and some of the construction going on, and we were able to do that. And then he did present the preliminary 24-25 budget. Gave us some very initial numbers. I'm not going to go too far into those because they're all going to change. So more to come on that. We are projecting a deficit, so that could lead us into a potential referendum in November or April. So we'll see what we're doing and where those numbers are going to fall. Operational referendum, yes.
Kim?
Compensation, we discussed the reading specialist, job description. And we, in June, we will bring forward for the full board, to increase substitute compensation to, $135. And, we still will be discussing next month, the pay for other teachers who have retired, for subbing. And then, we did discuss, the committee will be part of, negotiations this coming year, and at least one committee member will attend for sure, and we'll try and get everybody.
The next topic, welcome visitors, and we do have public comment. Kendra Avery for BEAs has a statement.
Hello there. I'm here tonight on behalf of the VA Education Association, the professional teaching staff of Viroqua area schools. We are simply here to show that we are dedicated to working together with the board to achieve a mutually acceptable outcome for next year's contract terms. We have requested that a board member from the compensation committee be present at negotiation meetings this year to ensure clear communication. Thank you for agreeing to that. Last year's imposition had a negative impact on staff morale, and we are collectively hoping for a better result this time around. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, for coming, and you can all stay. Although the best part is that. So next we have the approval of the consent agenda. And that is the approval of the agenda, approval of public notice, April meeting minutes, voucher summary 1 in the amount of $337,246.32. We do not have any retirements or resignations, appointments. We have a 6th grade math teacher, Jocelyn Olson. We have second reading of policies 75544, 100, 2522, 2460.03, 5350, 6325, 6611, 7440, 8310, 9130, and 9140. We have the 24-25 WIAA affiliation, 24-25 open enrollment applications as recommended by the administration. We have the summer school handbook and the summer school teacher contracts.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda passes. The next item is so with the retirements and all that, the board would like to not just acknowledge, I mean, we have such amazing appreciation for the retirement of two teachers, Lane Hansen and Julie Ferget. That was approved at the April 29th school board meeting. And we just want to thank them for their professionalism, for their involvement in our community, for the amazing teachers that they are. Hope to continue to see them in our classrooms as time moves forward. And Lane had 29 years of service and Julie had 31 years of service. The next item is voucher summary 2 in the amount of $299,632.18, and that is health insurance.
I'll move to approve voucher summary 2 in the amount of $299,632.18.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I abstain. Motion carries. Pupil non-description report.
I move to accept the pupil non-discrimination report.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any information? Other information?
It's a lengthy report, with a lot of parts. We started working on it probably in November. And we have to look, we look at it every 5 years, but we're encouraged by hopefully looking at it a lot more often than that. The number of how our scholarships are given out, how our classes are balanced, how many, how our extracurriculars are participated in. Our policies are written and made sure that they're all written in a non-discrimination format. With our OCR review this year, our Office of Civil Rights, we also had that this year. It fed right into our pupil non-discrimination report. So with that, there were things that we corrected and we're quite ready for this report, which we send into the state. So there are always recommendations that we'll be looking at and working through, try to keep everything balanced and discriminatory.
I want to thank you, Kathy. I know that this report is a lot of moving parts and takes a long time and a lot of staff hours. I appreciate it. And of course, you knew I read every sentence of it, read the whole thing, all 31 pages. So, but thank you for you and the staff and the time it takes to put that together. Appreciate it.
It's also going to say with all of the changes to Title IX, it's more and more complicated. So I appreciated all the information as well. Very well done, very thorough. Thank you. Any questions for Kathy? With that, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? And please thank everyone that participated in that.
And, you know, the board participated in there too with board workshops as well. So there was a lot of moving parts.
The next topic is the 23-24 budget adjustments. We'll make a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the 23-24 budget adjustments.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mike, did you want to say?
Yep, these are the adjustments from the budget that was approved back in October as part of the levy certification, reflecting, the since finalized wages and the movements that we had after that with salaries, lanes and step movements. Also incorporated just some general cleanup of budgetary amounts. I think during the discussion, we had talked about some money being budgeted on this line item. That project did not go forward. So, but we did, move those monies to another line that we did move forward with that we hadn't budgeted for specifically. So there's some cleanup there. The biggest reason for the movements for, we were able to redo all of our switch projects, taking advantage of our E-rate funding, which is available about once every 5 years for a major project in category 2 funding, which picked up a good portion of those eligible costs. The total project was a really big project. But so this records the revenues from both capital lease, which finance the rest of the project, and then the revenue from the federal government for the switches. That project was done in January. Probably going to be some more budget amendments as we go forward, just cleaning things up and getting them closer to where we're at. I wouldn't expect to see any more dollar increases in the deficit that we're presenting. But that's what we're at here.
Any questions? With that, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have the 24-25 preliminary budget. Oops, oh, did I skip one? Nope, I'm good. 25, sorry about that.
I'll move to accept the 24-25 preliminary.
Is there a second?
Second.
Do you want to speak to that?
Sure. This is really just putting to paper, I guess, some of what we've talked about in the past. We're just starting wage negotiations now. But this gives us, kind of a baseline as to where, we are at, but obviously it's going to change through that negotiation process. Now that affects the other units that we don't negotiate with, and that going forward. Also, there's assumptions in here for health insurance that we have not finalized. So, if there's going to be plan design changes and everything, but it gives us our baseline of where we're starting. Actually, as funny as it is, we talk about not knowing where the state's at. The revenues, we're pretty certain our revenue limit's going to be kind of where we're at. Where the tax levy equalization aid. Sorry, Mike. Okay. Will impact, we'll go up and down based on how we spend our money compared to other districts and that. But I mean, ultimately the revenues, I don't think we're going to see too much volatility going forward. Another budget will be brought in June, probably another one in July, all the way till October. We'll approve one in July for presentation at the annual meeting. And then from there, we'll try to get that as close as we can. So there isn't major adjustments after that. It's still, we've talked about this. I'm not going to talk about it a lot tonight. We talked about it at the committee level a little bit more. When you actually put our numbers and lay them out and actually include all of the factors, we can look like, we've had a real increase in our revenue limit. You look at revenue limit available to the Viroqua School District, that number's pretty small. Likewise, the amount of taxes that we're spending on our students is actually not what it looks like if you just compared us, we went to the DPI website and looked at the general fund tax levy for all these different school districts. It's hard, you have to get behind the numbers and see it, but it also then paints, supports the picture that we've been trying to paint that the 3-year freeze on revenue limits greatly impacted this district. Greatly.
Any questions for Mike? Very much. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Information and discussion, we have donations over $250. Viroqua Track Club, $1,029.51 for pole vault items. Viroqua Track Club, $1,462 for track equipment. Mary Reed, $500 to the FFA. Cutting Edge Hockey Boosters, $1,426.23 for the boys hockey coach bus. We are always amazingly grateful, and the philanthropy in this community is fabulous. We're very, very fortunate. So thank you for everyone that gives so generously. The next topic is the district administrator facilities update, May owners report, and project updates webpage.
Yep. So I'm gonna jump on. Share screen. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, we have we've been busy. As the teachers can attest to, this has been an absolutely crazy finish to the year. And there's work happening literally all over this campus right now. And so just major milestones right now, we have all of the concrete footings done throughout the entire district. So we've got nothing more as far as to pour for that concrete. Every addition, the footings are done now. They finished the tech ed wing late last week. And so that was the last one to get through. The elementary entrance has structural steel now, and now essentially has an enclosed mud pit. It's really fun to walk by and watch as that's changed. As you can see over there, yep. So that's the new secured entrance. And so it's, I mean, this looks cool on this side. If you look at it from the building side, looking out, there are puddles just everywhere. We did get a little rain inside in Brenda's office today as well. So we had a little water feature this morning. Just because that's just the roof is not, you know, it's slightly opened over there to tie the two essential buildings together. The other piece is structural masonry is also finished up at everything except for the tech ed wing. So everything else, if you look at all of the other entrance points, they've got that masonry up and connected to the main buildings. So it's an incredible process. It is daunting to think about everything that is happening. Right now, they're averaging between 30 and 35 workers on site, which is way up from what we were anticipating. Remember when I reported way back when it was, oh, they think they'll get 15 people on site every day, and we'll 60 during the summer. They have been pushing it hard, and it's good for our timelines, and everything is looking good that way. But it does cause for major disruption, and we are aware of that. And it has been a process. But as you can see, this is in the 4th grade wing. This picture right here. So that is the new restroom that is going in. Tile is completely done. They have all the fixtures in, and we'll start with partitions. Yeah, that's the in between partitions within the next couple of weeks. It's really dependent on weather now, on whether they're working outside or inside. You know, they've got a bunch of different projects, obviously, that they're working on. And this is that decking, that steel decking over here at the elementary. And so what that is that's what goes above your steel structure, but then what it's made for is to dampen sounds. And so when you're having a big open area, a lot of times you can get a lot of echo. And so it's a metal sheet with some slots and then insulation that you'll actually put your roof on top of. But that's is almost a foot thick by itself for that steel decking. Down over here, we can see structural steel framing is going up in the middle school and high school. And so what you're looking at there is what's going to be a new conference room and the nurse's bathroom behind over there. Over here, this is if you would enter through the big hole in the front wall, that will be just a window in the end of the high school entrance over here. So that's that structural masonry walls. As you can see, the floors are also done. And so that was a big step in moving forward. This is what it looks like when they were doing the concrete foundation work for the tech ed. Bless you. And if you watched any videos from last week, there is a huge hole in the size of the side of the middle school tech ed. But you can really see how big that space is going to be now, and it is considerably larger. And then on this bottom side is the middle school two-story addition. Looks really weird from the one side right now because you have a door that's going and leading into a brick wall because they haven't cut the other side out because we're in school yet. And they are literally, it's a door leading to nowhere right now. But we are right now on schedule. We have had quite a bit of rain lately. And so we are at that point where until the buildings get closed up, we really need to hope that, I know that, our farmers needed a lot of rain for a while. I hope they're okay now because we could really use some dry weather just until we get that envelope kind of closed up. After that, it doesn't really matter. So, those are the pieces. Tech ed is a little bit different because we know we're not going to have all of that wing back by, the start of school in the fall. We hope to have about half of it back at the beginning of the school year. And so, obviously, I hope, never mind. I would hope that we can get it all back, but that's kind of what we're trending towards right now. So, big things coming up, minus the massive list that I sent staff last week, which was probably overwhelming. But there are so many things happening in each part of the building that, I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. Biggest ones right now are the structural steel up here at the high school. You'll see big beams starting to come in for both additions and bioretention ponds. And so as you're going down Ben Lawton Drive, you'll see one going in, and as you're going down Education Ave, you'll see one going in.
Is that closed now?
It is not closed. No, it's not closed, and we'll have to talk about that because we were told that they were just with where they're anticipated, where rock was going to be, they would have to go right down the middle of Ben Lawton Drive. And they actually were able to go down what would be the west side of the road for almost the entirety down. So we had it budgeted for and we were going to tear out what was going to be left, which was going to be minimal, and then just replacing it with gravel, and then essentially opening it up for big events when we needed the additional parking, football games, track meets, those kind of things, graduation. But now there is a potential not to, rough asphalt that we can try to patch still seems to be better than gravel. And then we wouldn't have to tear it out. So we'll have to just kind of see where that goes. But again, they were able to stay along the side for way longer and farther down than what they thought they were going to, which was good.
Additional workers, is that to keep us on pace or schedule?
It depends on which parts you're looking at. So yeah, so for the most part, we're not behind. We're not behind on anything. We're ahead on some of the projects. One of the biggest issues is getting masons on site. And so they thought it was funny because we only had 10 masons working the other day and they were so embarrassed about it. Like, it's a lot of people doing that work, at least in my eyes. So I think they thought they were going to be able to, field a few more people out for that particular role, but yeah, we are trending, in the right direction right now. Again, obviously we can't deal with a ton more rain. Soil conditions around here are not great for it leaving quickly. A lot of clay and a lot of it just makes a really gunky mess that they have to pump out every time we do something. So anytime it rains.
I read that tomorrow we might have some flash flooding.
Yeah, that's not what I want to hear. Angie, yes,
Are you well aware?
I'm aware as National Weather Service continues to keep me updated. Usually they only make these, we had a webinar today. They don't make those webinars usually unless it's like chance of canceling school. We're not canceling school, but it's a piece where that's usually when major snow events are happening, not this. So yep, we had planned for an outdoor carnival. At the elementary. I don't think that's gonna happen. So. Anything else? Any other questions on the project? All right, thank you.
Administrator reports.
That's what we just.
You just did both the webpage. Oh, okay.
Yep, and anytime.
If you're
Yep.
talking about something specific.
No, the webpage
It
has all of the updated videos and all of the updated photos, and so you'll be able to follow us along. Angie at the newspaper. If you need any photos, they're all right there. So it's all on the website.
Administrator reports. So we don't have some of our administrators here. Are you getting those reports?
I can, some of them are in there. We've had a lot of, it's the end of the year and, we have administrators that have, children of their own that are, going through that, and just wanting to be there and supporting their children. So, Lions Club, honors program, was a great event, as it always is. We were able to give away over $145,000 in local scholarships. So that was, again, it's just an awesome night. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. And it's really an outstanding showcase of our senior class every single year. Graduation will be Saturday at 1:30 at the track football field right now. Again, hopefully, right now we're going on 5 years in a row of good weather. I just jinxed it, so I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Jason's going to be upset because he usually gets that weather. And then end of the year activities. So student council is organizing an end of the year flag football game for the last day of school, weather permitting. And so classes will be shortened for that early release. And then we will go from there. So that was Jason's report.
And then we have overnight and out of state field trips. There's a couple of those that were presented by Steve and Jason, who sent that in the report. And then the summer school update is Krista.
I just shared many bullet points of we're kind of getting to the final details of summer school, as it is just way that we'll be starting the first session. But once the classes were determined and finalized, then we could start having teacher assignments, para assignments, student assistant placements, start a process for requesting and gathering materials, since anything we want from the elementary has to be committed to before Friday, because we won't be able to go back and sneak in and get anything this year. We sent the confirmation letters to students last week with their courses and their schedules, and been working with Randy to make sure we have transportation for our park and rec shuttle and the outdoor adventures class and afternoon fishing class. And then starting Thursday and Friday, we'll start shifting some materials over from the elementary to the middle school and high school. We'll get our technology in place for the different classrooms and get ready to kick off session one. The high school session starts on Tuesday the Tuesday after Memorial Day. And then that elementary middle school starts the Monday after that. And then you can note at the bottom of my paper, there are a few overnight camping trips that pertain to that. Jason and Steve's overnight list as well.
Yeah, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
We're
Just
almost
a lot.
It'll be fun to see it actually in action.
Oh, and then everything will change internally here each day a little bit too. And so it's
To be
a lot of
honest,
flexibility.
Daily updates, yeah.
Yeah, we are looking at making our main kind of office area out of the snack bar actually for temporary purposes. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the one place where we've got an actual sight line to the front door, which we feel is very important, especially with all of the activity that happens here during the summer. There's a lot going on. So we want that visual if at all possible.
Did you want to add anything to any of those, or are we all good?
I think we're
Good
good.
covered?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Board report, Vicky, was there anything with Laurel?
No meeting.
Nothing?
Parents meeting, there will be one planned soon, so stay in touch with them.
Thank you. VAMS, Kim?
Yep, VAMS, their meeting is the day after the board meeting, so this would be from last month, the day after. They worked on talking about the grant application for the charter schools. They're still trying to figure out how to focus that and what to do with that. They talked about, overall, just so that the committee members knew, kind of how budgets work and how open enrollment works, and they reviewed some of the budget information that Mike has shared with them, and they are continuing their 501c discussions and meetings with, someone that's going to help them with that. And, those, I think, are the main things.
USB legislative update. If you go to the WASB website, they actually have a whole list of bills that were approved that just came out this afternoon. So anyone can go to that website and look at that, and they are now not in session for a bit of time. I do have, if anyone is interested, these are mailings that have gone out. This is the K-12 information for dual enrollment, and all of the high schools at Western Technical College is offering dual enrollment, percentages of students, as well as how much savings there is for families if their students take some of those courses. And so I have 2 of those if anyone wanted that. I also, they've come up with an equity scorecard, and it's just some very it's interesting information as far as the population that they are serving in the very large Western. It goes right along with some of our pillars and the work that they're trying to do and what we're trying to do in the K-12 system, in particular in our school system. And then the school news actually had some very, very nice articles in it this year. One was on manufacturing and becoming an entrepreneur, and that was very good. There was one on trout in the classroom, which we have done. We weren't in the magazine for what we did, but we certainly could have been. And then there's another one, skills for success. You know, we also have started a little bit of that type of program with our referendum and having a student that's working part of the day, as well as probably will be working all summer. So it talks about a high school that has gotten involved a little bit more with that. And then the other interesting article was strengthening healthcare career pathways. And I know our district has had that conversation as well. So it's always kind of nice to know that what they're highlighting in other districts are many of the things that we are doing or are working towards or have already done. And so I always find that good. But this magazine and articles in it were more interesting, I think, than some in the past. And once again, it has some legal information about all of the changes of Title IX, and how people are all trying to maneuver through those changes and how quickly they are changing what they just perhaps passed and changing it and making it look different. So.
Yeah, so just want to touch base a little bit. So if you haven't heard, Act 100 was the bill that went along with Act 20 that essentially approved the how to pay for Act 20 and approved some timelines for extensions for districts to not give things like the reading screener until the following school year, things like that. So it was submitted to the governor. The governor did his partial veto on it, and some in the legislature did not appreciate that. And so they opened a lawsuit against the governor and DPI over Act 100. And DPI and the governor responded with a countersuit. So we are in this fun piece. Essentially, all they've said is nothing has changed with us and our implementation of Act 20. We just don't know if and when we're going to be getting reimbursement for some of those already purchased programs now. So it's really fun when this happens and we have no control over any of that. But I did want to give you that update that essentially the timelines still hold. We still have to implement, but now there are some issues with, if and when you're going to get some of that money. Funding issues. So
there were some licensure bills that were in there too, that were intriguing. I don't know how to define them exactly. I don't know what they're thinking sometimes when they approve or they don't approve certain legislative pieces, but anyway, there's a huge list of them and how they're affecting K-12 or how they could possibly. So with that, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.